you thought Joe Biden was prepared to exit stage left, the serene beaches of Delaware, you need to think again. Biden reemerged from the shadows this week to embark on a comeback tour to rehabilitate his reputation. Some Democrats were thrilled.
I am a great admirer of President Biden. I think he will ultimately go down as one of the most consequential presidents because of all of the legislation he was able to pass in his first 2 years. Americans are going to benefit from it. You can be sure that Donald Trump will take full credit for it.
But most of the party knows that Joe's the one to blame for their current woes. Even former Biden staffers want him to ride out retirement in the basement. Quote, elections are about the future. Every time Joe Biden emerges, we fight an old war. Every interview he does provides a contrast to Trump. It's just not helpful for the Democratic brand, which needs trusted messengers and fighters who can reach independents and moderates and inspire the base. Joe ain't that. That's a former aide, a Democratic strategist. Ouch. Well, Biden's old aides aren't the only ones who want the former president out of the picture. Even high-level former Obama aides are furious that Joe's sticking around. They're calling his assertion that he could have beaten Trump politically insane.
I find it very aggravating and frankly infuriating when he says that he thinks he would have won.
Yeah, I know.
Because I feel like it's politically insane, right? It's like detached from reality.
Well, Dan has a rare point. When Biden left the race, he was trailing Trump in the Real Clear Politics average by 3.1%. Look at that. Kamala Harris, listen to this, lost by about half of that margin, 1.5%. And yet she still lost the popular vote to President Trump by 2 million plus voters. So Joe Biden's belief that he could have won, well, that's little more than the delusional musings of a man forced out of the race. The rose-colored glasses are fading for the media. They're finally admitting that Biden's tenure in office was a massive failure.
I think Biden was a failed president.
And he thinks that he would have won.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
I know.
Who's telling him that?
You know, my wife says this all the time. She goes, look, a better leader would have made the country not want to return to Trump. And it's a tough thing to say, but she's not wrong.
Chuck, I endorsed the guy.
I know you did.
I mean, I was the first Republican, now they were all endorsing Kamala Harris and all that stuff. But I was the first one out there doing it.
Ranks, yeah.
And I thought he was going to be a healer, and he was anything but that. Biden's people wouldn't let anybody near him.
No,
because they might tell him something to get his attention. And the cover-up by the media is a disgrace.
Man, that's Chuck Todd. That's John Kasich. Boy, are they singing a different tune. And on the notion of a cover-up, what cover-up? Jen Psaki says that never happened. According to Jen, MSNBC is filled with some of the straightest shooters in the business.
For anybody who thinks that MSNBC is totally the mouthpiece of the left, just look at how we all responded to the debate just last June, immediately afterwards. And no one was on TV, not me, not Rachel Maddow, no one saying, not Lawrence O'Donnell saying, you didn't see what you just saw.
Really, Jen? Not the mouthpiece. Well, this is how your friend hyped up Biden before he fell apart on the debate stage.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
But behind the scenes, they all knew the truth about the president's health. And now Joe Biden's blaming sexism for Kamala's loss. And the media is following suit, acting as if Kamala's landslide loss had nothing to do with her bad policies.
The idea that she lost because of racism is absurd. She lost because the country was in a disastrous place, and they blamed him and his politics that she had to defend.
You, as a white guy, have the privilege of saying that racism, and you, as a white male.
I'm saying it's an incredibly
I am telling you right now.
Statement as a white guy to sit there and say I would have won with the same policies that she ran on.
As a woman of color. I am telling you that it is incredibly ridiculous for you, with the privilege that being a white male gives you in this country, to say that there wasn't some element of racism.
Well, Kamala lost because she was Joe Biden 2.0, and the party has not learned its lesson. If they ever want to win again, they need a major outsider to step in, to take the wheel.
She just never felt comfortable in her own skin. She was overtrained, overcoached. How many consultants in Washington, D.C. need to just get fired? Like, what are they doing? Just be a person. If you really want to kick in this next election, Democratic Party, unsolicited advice from someone who is not a political scientist, find someone who's real. Find someone outside of the bubble. And if you have someone in the bubble, like, you got to break away. You have to almost say, like, I'm the anti-Democrat.
Well, that's what Stephen A. Smith has been saying, in short, and he keeps adding to his resume.
You ain't LeBron. You ain't KD. You damn sure ain't Ant-Man. You a grinder, rotation player. I don't care about cool. I care about you. I care about your family, your kids, your future. That's what I'm thinking about. So guess what? Your agent ain't asking you to get rid of some of your boys. I'm asking you to get rid of all of them. Every living one of them.
But he'd have to get past Gavin Newsom, who seems to think he's a front runner launching a national ad campaign. Meanwhile, we still wait for the left's postmortem of the election. Where is it? Maybe they should pause and ask, what made Trump so popular?
The worse you think Trump is as a person, the more horrible, disgusting you think he is, the less appeal you think he has. That should create an inverse proportion. It should make you desperate to answer the question, most of all, why is Donald Trump popular? I listen to so many interviews with Democrats. I talk to so many Democrats beyond the ones who are informing this conversation. And they rarely grapple with the question of Trump's popularity. They'll tell you why they think he's bad. The worse you think Trump is, the more you should want to know, why is he popular? What is it about Trump?
Well, in addition to ignoring the hard questions, the left is also spending precious little time on coming up with a proactive, concrete agenda for the American people.
The Democrats lack ideas. You look at Bill Clinton and other Democrats who've been able to make a big splash nationally. They've had distinctive ideas that appeal to voters. The party really does not. You think about, where do they stand on the economy? Where do they stand on tariffs? Where do they stand on immigration, education? The lack of original ideas, Democrats say, is a big problem.